Yar, me mateys! We be setting sail on the high seas here in our halftime show. All right, I'm not gonna keep up the act the whole time.
Oh, come on, why not?
No.
Come
I
on.
do it for the intro.
Commit to the bit, Magical.
You know how much I have to look up random phrases that I've never even heard of just to make sure I can do like the booty of the week?
You know what? How
It's my
about this?
favorite.
How about this? How about I join you? Yar, matey!
Yar, me
Yar!
matey!
I don't really have a
Arr.
bandana, but we're just gonna put this on my head for
Okay,
now.
you
Cubby,
fail.
do you have something prepped for this?
No, I'm just gonna sip on my coffee. Is that fine?
All right,
All right.
that's
you know what?
typical
If
Cubby
we're gonna
thing.
one box me,
Do
we'll
they
go
have
all the
coffee
way.
on a pirate ship?
Do I look like a pirate? I do
no.
not look like a pirate.
Not at
No,
all.
you look like you're about to like have an entry in a French artist gallery.
He does! Oh, man.
I think so. All right, what do you have planned for us, Magical?
Well, see, I be
Crazy ass
amusing
that
you with me outfit, so you got to be amusing me with some talking of gameplay. So the idea here is this halftime show is called Amuse Magical, right? what I want you to do is I may or may not be on the high seas at the moment. Ignore the green screen that is most likely on. I'm out traveling the world.
You have like a
could say.
green glow around you too. Wow. Wait, do that hand thing again.
Let's see. Ooh.
Oh, technology.
I know. Wait, no, it's the green light off yonder. Have you ever
Oh,
seen
yes,
Pirates of the Caribbean? It's that thing.
Hello, Davy Jones.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. All right. So what it is I may or may not have paid attention to game one. Might have been doing other things, but I want you two to entertain me. You're going to regale me in a tale of game one, and essentially you're just going to tell me what happened in game one. Make it amusing, make it fun. You gain points purely off my discretion. I'm the one who decides the points. If I find you entertaining, you'll get points. If I don't, you'll lose points. And yes, you can contradict each other and try to say that their story sucks and that yours is better. And I can take away points from people even if I gave them points beforehand. Are you ready?
I guess so.
Well, good, Steve, because you go first.
Oh,
Tell me
boy.
what's happened in the first parts of the gameplay.
All right. Well, if I have to entertain him, what can I do for entertainment? I got
Not
a
entertaining me, so
soundboard.
what?
Wait, let's see if I can set some
I'm
up.
kind
for
of
you real
nervous
quick.
about my soundboard because I don't know if I can get like DMCA'd or not. You know?
Well, okay,
all
you
right,
still have
this
to
is
tell
how
me
we're gonna
about the
entertain
game.
Magical.
It's not just soundboards. You gotta tell me about the game.
You know, you didn't like you have a car that we jokingly called the costume car, and like all these props, and then when you
Magical's
said
the costume department.
Amuse Magical for a bit, you told me that as of probably like 3 minutes ago now, and so I have no props for you. I
You
feel
don't need
guilty.
props. Just tell me about the game.
I think that's
you
your
make
first
it fun.
mistake,
Storytell.
Cubby, because
You're
I
a
always got
storyteller.
props.
Oh.
You know what happened in game number one, Magical? We had our own super heavyweight smackdown. This time, it wasn't the top lane, though, like we thought it was going to be. That was actually kind of a snooze fest. Doxa Diplex, dude. That turned out into a really exciting mid lane matchup. And I gotta say, I gotta tell you, even though Dox was doing well early on, Diplex showing us exactly why he was the starting LCS mid laner for Cloud9 LCS. And even though he's played at Challengers right now, he is still styling on the mid laners here.
Not very entertaining. I'll give you a point. A pity point. All right.
Is that better?
Get 0 points now. Cubby. Your turn. So, kind of talk and tell me a little bit more about this matchup between Dox and Diplex. Why was it so exciting?
Well, you know, I gotta say, Doxa was doing okay early on. You know, one might say that Doxa, you know, the young cat stepping out onto the court, was taking down an old vet that was playing at the big leagues, you know, playing the matchup out pretty well, getting 30 CS up. But then you know what happened?
Oh.
Diplex went bot. And you know what happened when he went bot?
No.
He got like 3 waves and a turret for free. And then you know what happened after that?
Oh.
Diplex had an all-you-can-eat buffet in terms of which ultimates he grabbed and in terms of who he killed on TSM.
All right.
That's what happened.
I like that. You definitely get a point for that.
What?
Screw you, Steve.
Yeah.
What?
His
Who needs
isn't
antics?
even a pity point that I take away at will.
Welcome to my
It's just like-
classroom.
His is a solid point. All right. So why don't we talk about bot lane then? Because it seems like bot lane was where they wanted to play around a lot anyways, right? So why bot lane? What was so exciting about that? Cubby.
Well, I'm trying to do
Cubby,
something.
Not you, Cubby.
Oh, okay.
Well,
Good, because I'm frozen right now. I broke my camera feed.
You know,
trying to
first off,
entertain you.
First off, bot is the meta at the moment, and top, was kind of a slap fight between a dino that evolves and then a big zombie man. So that does sound fun, but not that entertaining. Anyway, bot lane. Yeah, it was Wild Turtle, who honestly really felt like he was a wild turtle because he had no home and everyone was attacking him and jumping on him and everyone was just dogpiling on him. And I kind of felt bad for the Wild Turtle. I feel like he was more of a domesticated turtle, the way that C9 played that out with all the ults they had.
Or is it kind of like, when you see the baby turtles on the beach and you just see them trying to waddle and crawl their way to the water and then all sorts of beasts and vermin just prey upon them?
They were trying to do that, but like Nautilus came out of the water and pressed R, and then Vi came from the forest and then pressed R, and then Wild Turtle went back to being domesticated in the gray screen.
I mean, that doesn't sound domesticated. That sounds more like they were made into turtle soup.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was unfortunately a lot of turtle soup. But sometimes just kind of how the cookie crumbles. Drafted and
be a cookie? All I be knowing is the hardtack.
The what?
Hardtack.
The what?
Do you not know what hardtack is?
No, what is it?
I do not know.
Oh god, it's what pirates used to eat. It's just a big block of pretty much just flour and water cooked, and it was harder than sin, and you had to pretty much chip at it just to get some food, and it was awful. Usually you dip it in your water or your whatever meat or rum you'd have on at hand just to kind of soften it up and make it a little bit more palatable.
Okay.
That was the main sustenance of pirates.
That sounds awful. I'm happy I'm not a pirate, and I apologize for what you have to go through.
All right, Cubby, you get a point,
My final attempt to entertain you. I was trying to load up a video that I had.
The points are independent. You still get a point. Now it's his turn.
Okay. Oh, wait. It's my turn?
Yeah, now it's your turn.
Okay. I was trying to get a video GIF that I had loaded, and it broke my virtual cam. So instead, we're just going to show this. All right. You know what? I know that you lost round 1, Doxa. But game 2, this is your opportunity. You've been scaling up through the year. I think that you got what it takes, and if Doxa has 1 million fans, I'm one of them. If Doxa's got 1 fan, I'm the fan, and if you got none, I'm dead. That's how the meme goes, right?
Now, what does this have to do with bot lane?
He died bot lane.
I didn't know we were talking about bot lane. I was trying to get my camera working again while it jumped back and forth between the two of you.
All right, no points for Steve.
All right.
A good effort, valiant effort, but no points for Steve. But Steve, you can redeem yourself. Tell me a little bit about the jungle. What happened between the junglers?
Okay, now jungle was. I'm actually just gonna bring it back here. I'm not gonna go nuts for this one. Jungle actually was just an interesting matchup because Svenskeren was doing a really good job of tracking Tomio earlier. Had a fantastic setup before the first dragon. Got them first blood. They didn't turn it into the dragon, though, and I think that they could have pushed for a little more. I actually would have liked that. I think that kind of summarized a decent portion of TSM's play. They would set up for something and then not get much for it. Whereas Cloud9 Challengers, once they set up for something, they were just... let's just be honest. They were just abusing Wild Turtle on Varus, not having a lot of mobility.
Yeah,
they were getting a lot afterwards.
It was a bit of a draft differential, but also I will say Svenskeren did have a really nice early game where he actually was able to get leads for TSM. They just couldn't do much with them after.
All right, well, Cubby, finish your point, Steve, so he gets the point.
You see, not Vi.
He cut me off.
I TSM, said you could interrupt each other and take away your points.
Actually, here's the best way I can summarize that game. TSM were winning the game until Not and Vi hit 6. And then C9 pressed R on Varus and C9 won.
Oh. All right. Good to know. Cubby, you win. Sorry, Steve. No points for you.
Look. If you remove our names, I got the oh face and he's got the ooh face. Look at that.
So he still wins. Okay.
Did that entertain you, Magical?
Get out of here, scallywag.
He gets a -1. No, you Latin lovers. You be taking
now I'm gonna have a nose and a mouth.
Yeah, you'll get the -1 and you be happy. Anyways, scallywags, take this away. Get us into the second game of Series 2.
Yeah. All right, real quick, Cub, we have to make the faces. Oh, it's gone now.
I feel like we both won that game because we did somehow amuse Mad Magical. I feel like that was just he just actually wanted to be amused.
I don't know if I did, honestly. I was trying to pull out backgrounds. I broke my computer for a hot second there, but
apparently
you
I just amused Mad Magical. This is why we scored well with Nui Duos, I will say.
But we didn't score well with newly duos.
Me and Magical did.
Oh, you two did. All right. Well, thanks for making me jealous. Now let's bring our attention back.
Brought up my ex once today. You know, I got to do it again.
I didn't know it was magical. Okay. Well, we're learning about the Cubby romantic lore. Valentine's Day was last week, buddy.
Newly duos.
All right.
Come on. All right.
Catching up on current Cloud9 Challengers. On the blue side, banning away Cassante, Ash, and Caitlyn. TSM Challengers banning away the Zeri, Elise. Bot lane heavily pinched for right now, and even more so
Varus?
as Lucian's taken off the table.
Varus, Maokai are on the table. So I expect, okay, we're going to see the Maokai. I expect to see a Varus Sejuani in response. Or we could see that Xayah Rakan power pick here from TSM.
Yep.
It's something that was denied last time around, and looks like they're going to snag it.
I mean, if they're blue wanting Rakan, to me this means that they wanted this bot lane combo in game 1. Harder to get it on blue side because Cloud9 was willing to take the Xayah away. TSM will get it in game 2. Now the question is it still the correct decision to go for this early in the draft, or will Cloud9 Challengers be able to still draft around it? Because you're showing your cards quite early here.
I will say I really like, I'm a notorious Nautilus hater. I really like Nautilus into Rakan, not so much Xayah Rakan, because of course Xayah you can go airborne. Yeah. So we will see, you know, how they decide to switch it up. Now, if they do take the Kai'Sa here, there are other supports that can go do pretty well. Like Leona comes to mind. You can cancel Rakan's Grand Entrance with your Q if you step up, and then also you can just force Xayah ult with your R as Leona. Yep. So I would really like that pick. Not surprised to see Sejuani, but we have the flexible Jace that we somewhat more expect to go mid at this point, given what we've seen, and also Kai'Sa. So already a big emphasis on the dive here for C9, and I'm wondering if they take away some tools that might be really good against dive, because they're diving into Xayah.
I'm wondering if TSM Challengers want to take away... Okay, so Nautilus is gone. Will they ban the Leona as well? Because I gotta say, the Leona would be scary, but hear me out. I actually think Heimerdinger is very good into this bot lane. You have the Heimer turrets plus the Maokai saplings to set up the entrances to the jungle, and also Sejuani engaging into Heimerdinger can be quite annoying because you're just going to be taking percentage HP damage the whole time.
I do like the poke identity out of C9. Heimer would fit that. I don't think that we'll see a Heimer here. I am kind of expecting a Leona ban, or if they want to attack maybe a mid laner or a top laner, in this case Renekton. So wonder if they're protecting anything top. Again, Sejuani's in the game, so Jax does really go up in priority here for the side of each team's, just given how well Jax synergizes and also works against Sejuani passive.
So now I'm assuming it will be the Leona locked in for Cloud9 Challengers if Zeyzal's willing to pilot that. I feel like it does fit a lot of what they want to go for. You get one more ban here. Doxa will not get the Sylas, will not get the Aurelia. So banned away. And Aurelia also big counter to the Gnar, so maybe Cloud9 Challengers are going to expect TSM to blind pick mid and then counter pick top, and they go for the Sion. Yeah,
also Jace. So, do we see Cho'Gath? It's not a bad Cho'Gath game. Xayah does kind of shred Cho, but still, I really like Cho'Gath in the double tank top sides. I think that you can get out of the lane okay. Alistar is another pick. It's not quite as strong in lane, but still would be very strong. You can actually catch the Sejuani ults now and catch Sion ult, which is pretty big for Zeyzal. And for me, this is Zeyzal's best champion of all time. I loved his Alistar back when he played in LCS, so really fun to see Zeyzal bring that out again.
The cow is locked in, everybody. 2 strong engaged tools on each side. Actually, 3 for TSM Challengers, if you want to factor Sion. More of a secondary
poke.
engage.
Yeah,
now, what does Cloud9 Challengers want to round out?
I think Fiora makes a lot of sense. Again, you're into that double tank top side. Cho'Gath's the pick that I think is kind of fun and kind of slept on right now. But Fiora, I mean, makes a lot of sense into both Sion and Sejuani, and it will give you that split push option, which pairs really well with the poke they have for Maokai Jace. So, again, I really like C9's comp. I think it's well put together.
So now I wonder, I mean, Kai'Sa can go a little bit split physical and magic damage. Maokai might just go for the Liandry's pick here, the Liandry's build, if you want to go for more AP damage, because otherwise all these tanks, the Sejuani, the Sion, can just go like full armor and just not really be worried about the poke.
Yeah, I don't love the Akali here, because I feel like Akali doesn't have a ton of great targets on the side of C9. You can't really answer Fiora in the split. What it will do is it does force Jace to go Hex Drinker, so that can sometimes delay some of his earlier spikes. So I think, again, the emphasis on TSM, very heavy on the early game. And then we'll see if Turtle, again, this Xayah Rakan. Xayah was really big for loss last game. I think that the big difference was the fact that Xayah you called it out, Kangas. Self-sufficient peel. Turtle did not have that. So I really think that this time around, now that we see the Xayah in the hands of Turtle, I want to see if he can get around some of this poke and utilize those ultimates well to make sure that these team fights go in TSM's favor.
And also, Cloud9 Challengers do not have nearly the same just point-and-click ults to take down the enemy AD carry either. So it's kind of both sides that were leaning against Wild Turtle are now in his favor. He can peel, and there's less threat onto him from an engaged perspective. It's more about absorbing, or rather, trying to avoid absorbing the damage of the poke coming in from Jace, from the saplings, not getting chunked out before the fight even begins. But we are into the game, and what is this, Cubby? What is this betrayal?
Yeah, I couldn't buy a skin. There was a tweet made by Paulsable, another caster, said when your friends get you to play a new game and they've bought cool skins and you haven't. And then he used the hashtag. So I've just been running for the day. I didn't have enough RP to buy a skin for the last segment, you know?
I guess that's the energy we're coming into game number 2.
I gotta draw something.
Even Lena's throwing out shots right now. All right, you know what? Maybe at this point, I shouldn't even be surprised. But again, let's keep the conversation about the players, everybody. Because that is... This is the match I was most excited about. I know that I said at the top of the day it was Team Liquid first because I wanted to see LJX and how they performed. But if we're being honest, this should be the closest of the matches that we have ahead of us. And game 1, I'm not fully satisfied with what we got. I felt like we got about 10-15 minutes of good gameplay and then a steamroll after that. I'm hoping for a close game 2.
Well, we're going to have to see if our teams can deliver. I agree with you. I think this is the closest match that we have on stream today. So curious to see how Diplex is able to play out this Jace against Doxa, who of course had a decent lane phase last game on the Akali until Diplex went solo bolo on the bot side and then ran the game. So we will see what can happen this time around as Fake God. Nice find from Haunter early. Able to trade out a little bit.
It's just crazy that last game we still say like Diplex ran the game when Lost was what? 11-0 and something at the end.
Yeah, I mean, Lost is like, he was just doing damage, right? Like, Diplex was the playmaker. So, oh, wait, very curious here, Kangas. All right, I gotta say, Svenskeren, he's going to wrap up his clear on top side, and he's gonna gank Fake God when this lane is very long. Very curious to see as Fake God rolls a couple of really nice vitals there. That's gonna hurt Haunter, and we'll see if Haunter is high enough HP to even contest this now.
Oh, Fake Out might just get the solo kill. No, Haunter hits level 2 and is fine. Wants to trade the shield damage against Fake Out, who goes back in. Doesn't get the second auto, and now Fake Out's in a really rough position.
No riposte.
Has Ghost, but air over from Fog of War. Svenskeren just goes for it. Flashes in for the passive stun, and first blood picked up by Svenskeren yet again.
Nice Q from Fake God. It did not the flash, but still Svenskeren, that path pays off for him, so he's going to base reset. And Haunter is able to pick up a lot of this wave under his turret. So, again, this is a matchup where if Fiora gets ahead, she can really take down Sion, but she needs levels. She needs the vitals. Haunter's chilling now on this top side for a little bit. Can use his TP to get back whenever. But well played by the side of Svenskeren in that early path. Really helping out the top laner TSM that has been so good this split.
Up a little bit of CS. Has the wave in a frozen spot, so feeling all right. And it's unlikely that a Sion gets dove this early into a game. Doxa, meanwhile, trading well against Diplex here. Svenskeren's the one that picked up the gold. Goes for a back and has a little bit more stats now as you're hovering the bottom side of the map. So I'm also curious how Svenskeren's going to pass going forward, because the big difference here is Tomio is very far ahead in the clear. Very far ahead in XP because of that. So
what is this Alistar skin? Is that new?
Wait a minute, I didn't actually process that. Observers, can we take another look here? Although maybe we're following something important.
No, we aren't at the moment. Tomio is going to maybe take second Raptors. That could be important, but no, this Alistar skin, is this new?
Was there like a Lunar Rebel Alistar or something?
I mean, it's something.
No, I think this is a chroma of one. It almost looks like the world's one. It kind of looks like the model. Like he's got the vest, he's got the sunglasses on.
Oh, that's Karen. No, gonna be their way.
See Tomio take away the camp, but will not protect it.
I'm very biased towards Infernal Alistar, and it was the skin that Zeyzal used to use, I believe.
Well, I can tell you that was not Infernal Alistar.
No, that was not.
I know that.
That's my boy. All right, Svenskeren, he had his Raptors taken, so he's trying to get some chicky nuggies, from the other fast food drive through. See if this one ends up successful for him.
He's playing around the sampling, too. Didn't actually aggro it, so should be able to take this from Tomio as Doxa hovering nearby, as topside Fake God still just trying to shove in this wave. It looks like Svenskeren did get it. We didn't see it on screen, but now he's looking for even more.
Tomio didn't have Smite. I didn't check to see the CS, but Svenskeren's behind now. He's actually going to pull this, and he's wrapped all the way around there. They thought that the TSM bot lane base, so now...
Ooh. Flash out from Lost, but now Svenskeren right into the waiting arms. Cloud9 challenges bot lane, disrespecting that Svenskeren was already on their bottom side of the map. Walk too far forward, get punished.
Really well played again. Svenskeren getting both his side lanes ahead. This is the second game in a row where Svenskeren has really had a great start for his team.
I mean, that's an uncharacteristic mistake, I'd say, from Cloud9. Like, they saw Svenskeren on the Raptors. And then Tomio goes in and sees a control ward. You should assume that Sejuani could be pathing down there. I don't know why Lost and Zeyzal are so far up. Well, back to live. Svenskeren into the mid lane here. Diplex now very far forward. Has the flash himself. Will probably need to use it. Actually saves it till the very end.
Well played.
And doesn't need to use it. Well played.
Really well played by Diplex. He's hugging the right side of the map. Like, he knows that Svenskeren was just spotted on the bot side, so he's going to show up there in the next couple of minutes. You know, it would be coming from there. That really helps him out. So again, really sound mid lane play from Diplex. Tomio's going to show up to make sure he can get this wave in nice and safe and get a good reset.
Diplex trading heavily into Doxa. Gave up 4 minions for that poke right there. So that means that they probably want to go for the dive. Tomio has the flash. And there we go. Flash twisted advance and Bramble smash. Boom. You're dead.
Well, all right. Again, Diplex made that happen. The fact that Svenskeren came mid and Diplex traded back all that damage and held the flash was big.
Oh, Lunar Beast
is the name of the skin. Oh, thank you. I also... That magical also pinged me. It is a chroma, but it came out in 2021, so I guess I'm just a boomer. Again, Infernal Alice... I'm not biased towards skins very often. Infernal Alistar, for me, sick as hell. Either that or the one where he's got the cowboy hat, Longhorn Alistar. And so I just don't look at the other Alistar skins. There's no other options.
You're not a Moo Alistar fan.
Who?
The cow skin, where he's got
where he hits the cowbell? Yeah, of
yeah.
course. I mean, big Will Ferrell fan, so that's fine. That one's also acceptable.
I want to highlight something that happened in game there, though, in the mid lane. The fact that Diplex, again, I was confused. I was like, all right, he just gave up 4 minions of CS to poke Doxa, but then Tomio ready to go for it. Those are the kinds of decisions that are kind of hard to judge in the moment, but I'm very impressed when I see them happen. It's like, okay, it's worth more to get the kill gold than it is to get these minions gold, and that means that I have to use my abilities on him instead of the minions. Cool little plays like that.
Diplex, I know this is not, you know, the most fun scenario to be in, where you're on a 7-2 LCS team and now you're playing in Challengers, but hey, props to Diplex, you know, for making the most of it, and I think he's playing very well individually. Game 1 and now Game 2, as the instant that Tomio is spotted, Haunter says, nope, I'm out of there. Going through his mana a little bit. I will say top lane stabilized, so it's now somewhat, I don't want to say in favor of Fiora, but it is definitely in favor of C9, as because they turned around the mid lane play, Herald's able to be started by Tomio. C9's bot lane is not here to support. They feel confident they can win the 3v3. Let's see if they can do it.
Will be a 3v3, though, because Zeyzal didn't roam up either.
He's walking now.
Okay, will he make it there in time? Fake God roams down. Tomio's here. Diplex still hovering. Svenskeren might just go for the Smite steal. Has Arctic Assault, but says, nope, I'll just take the Nature's Grasp from Tomio. That's ultimate down on Maokai. Pretty much the best you're going to get out of that situation.
Yeah, and we'll see with Xayah pushing the bot side. Maybe they can answer and take the dragon next. As you can see, Svenskeren sprinting across mid. TSM should be able to rip this down, no problem. So it is a trade, but still a trade up for C9. I think Herald favors them as Haunter repositions to make sure the caddy minion goes his way. Well played.
Haunter also going for the Grasp instead of the Comet. Last game, Fake God went for the Comet Folk build. This time, Haunter saying, no, I'm just going for the full stats for the tank, for the survivability. Makes sense against the likes of Fiora, but Grand Challenge is issued. Fake God's going for the 1v1. Haunter can position, and even though it successfully goes off, there's a lot of trade damage back from Haunter, who gets another Grasp stack.
Well played from Haunter. As Fake God, each of our top laners playing well. Again, good story for each of these guys. Honestly, redemption arc, right? I think that, you know, Dokla The thing that was such a big success story for me with Dokul is how hard that guy worked.
Yeah.
Like, he was streaming Shamsky from start to finish, which again, Shamsky will be live again today. So definitely tune into whatever streams you see from players there. But Dokul was playing start to finish for CQ. He hit first, and man, like in spring, remember when we gave him the trophy and he was like taking photos with it like on his own? He was really proud of himself for that. And I felt really good because he worked his ass off to really deserve that. And I really feel like Fake Out and Monster, you know, they've been putting in the work so far this year to try and, you know, return to where they have been in the past. Very respectable as Doxa is going to go down again.
Yeah, it's Cloud9. Oh!
Nice hammer.
Okay, he's out for now. Can he get away fully? Has the flash, and now bot lane there's action as Svenskeren jumps in onto Zeyzal. Pulls out the Unbreakable Will. Doxa playing patient here. Again, still has flash. Twisted Advance used by Tomio. Zeyzal looked for the headbutt. Doxa's just buying time.
I think he gets the execute off.
Zeyzal okay, should have the shuriken flip. One more hit, and there we have it.
All right.
The turret gets the kill credit.
Well done, Doxa. Heading for the hills still. Advantage C9 at this point, Kangas, as Herald will be thrown down mid. And if Diplex on this chase again gets accelerated, the poke from C9 is going to be very tough to deal with, as it is going to be Maokai saplings plus Jay's poke. We've seen that be very oppressive. There's really not a ton that TSM can do to break that. They also cannot win the side lane against Fiora, so I feel like this game state right now, it's even, but I very much favor where C9's at.
I'd have to agree. Even with the gold dead even across the board right now, and one dragon in the favor of TSM Challengers. The one thing I will say is they have shown the ability to close out games from positions like this when they have a late game front-to-back team fighting style of draft. And in particular, Wild Turtle is on a champion that he can peel himself for. Often that's a struggle of TSM Challengers, is, you know, in these big fight moments, sometimes they'll go a little far forward. Wild Turtle feels like, okay, maybe I don't really have a lot of backup, a lot of ability to survive. Haunter now the focus in the top lane. We're not at the front-to-back team fight moment yet. We're still in the laning phase, so Haunter will use another unstoppable onslaught to get away.
Now C9's bot lane. Gotta see. Zeyzal doesn't have that ult up quite yet, but control ward spots Svenskeren. But Tomio being spotted on the top side. C9's bot lane. Do have to head for the hills, and a cute little play from TSM. You know, gets Turtle waves. A couple plates too. Denies lost, and Zeyzal. That's very important here for TSM, as again, like the game state where it's at for C9, TSM have to keep on making plays like this.
They didn't need the Herald for it to get the plates onto Wild Turtle. And Cloud9 did not break mid-turret with their Herald play. Dox is able to make it back in time and defend, catch these waves. So yeah, I think a really good look for TSM Challengers there. Even if you don't get the kill with Svenskeren being bot side, you still take away a camp, and you get a lot of plates onto your Xayah. Oh, now they're invading.
Red buff invade. Honestly, they might catch Tomio. We'll see what Tomio decides to sapling, if he saplings early or if he goes towards the wraps. They are kind of...
haven't seen what Tomio's going for a second item yet.
Oh, they spot Zeyzal. They're trying to hide. Zeyzal has ult again.
Zeyzal has ult, so he can use it to get away. It's popped already. A lot of damage reduction, 50%. As the Twisted Advance from Tomio locks him down. Diplex is coming in. This could be a big shock blast.
Outnumbered.
Wild Turtle get the damage in onto the Xayah. They've taken down Zeyzal, but was that enough? Lost low. Wild Turtle flashes the wall as Dox is in onto Lost. Svenskeren re-engages onto Diplex, but they need damage onto him. Diplex jumps back in. Dragu with the knockup. Dox is there with Wild Turtle, but Tomio jumps right onto Wild Turtle now. Again, even as the Xayah, there's just not a lot of peel for him. And Diplex turns it around. Gets another one, will trade himself to Doxa, but Cloud9 Challengers trade up in the skirmish.
Oh my god, it's the red buff throwdown here as each of our teams, they throw 4 people at it. 7 go down in total, and C9, they come out on top in the end. I gotta say, at the start of the fight, TSM, they're down a man early. They play this out really well. I mean, the focus on the Zeyzal, yes, he buys a ton of time with his ultimate, but they were actually able to take Lost out of the fight early. It's just Diplex. Keep in mind, he was the one that got ahead in the mid lane because of the dive from Tomio. He's the guy that pumped out all the deeps here in the back half and changed this fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of little moments here in this fight. Now that we're looking at the replay that I think could have made differences. But Diplex plays this pretty dang well. You look at his posturing, his positioning, and he's using his spacing to get as much damage as he can. And then he's able to trade himself here onto Doxa, playing around the knife's edge of his own health bar.
I think the sidestep on Sejuani W earlier that actually prevented another permafrost from going down onto Diplex. If he gets stunned up there, I think he falls. But because he sidestepped it, just with right clicks, really, really well done by Diplex on the Jace, he's a big boy right now, and might be big enough to take this dragon. Now as we're back to live, Lost shredding it. Smite fight.
Ultimate's in. Smite secured. Cloud9 have the objective. It's Doxa the focus on the side. Thought that he had the flank, but Cloud9 Challengers had him marked the entire time. Now Twisted Advance onto Domio. It's actually Dragon going in for the engage. Fenskaren too far forward. And TSM Challenger, they were flirting with a fight that they did not want. Cloud9 Challengers take it again.
It's something else that I just kind of realized. Rakan into Alistar Maokai, it's really tough to engage on these champions. Alistar has ways to interrupt you. Maokai has ways to dodge out on your grand entrance or cancel it. And we saw Draku there. When he's not able to get to the back line, it's really tough. And then again, Diplex, that Jace hammer form takes priority over a lot of things in League of Legends, and Diplex is using it damn well this game against the Akali.
Very hard for TSM Challengers to approach situations like that with their composition. And the fact that Cloud9 Challengers had Doxa marked from the beginning, even before the Dragon was at half health, we saw Diplex and Zeyzal hanging out in that brush just waiting for the Akali to come in. And that meant the Doxa couldn't get much done in that fight at all. That's a turret over to Cloud9 Challengers. First of the game, mind you. There's been a lot of plates taken, but no turrets actually locked down. So TSM are trying to trade for the Herald.
C9 did just burn quite a few cooldowns on that dragon fight, so I think they're fine sacking this and trying to play for maybe mid-outer on the answer. As you can see, both Jace and Kai'Sa walking up. And this is where, again, the game gets a little bit scary for TSM, because for now, Sion's going to be able to be okay in the side lane against Fiora, but it's not like Fake God can get moved out by the Sion or the Akali, and it's not like that's going to get any easier for the side of TSM, so really gonna have to see now like what TSM can do to respond. It feels like they still have to try and make some plays here, because if they just let the game state roll out the way it is, I think they're gonna bleed out and die.
We went into this match hyping up the top lane, even though there's been tanks played, even though it hasn't really been the focus right now. It could be the focus going forward for Fake God. How much damage can he do in a side lane versus how much spacing can Hauntzer give Wild Turtle and Doxa in these team fights later on? So far, it looks like Cloud9 are ahead in that front, but doesn't mean that TSM's out of this one yet. I still think that they have avenues into this game. Little things like that are kind of cute for Hauntzer. I don't think that's going to be where they win the game, but I see you, Hauntzer.
Take all the damage you can get. Unfortunately, Fiora and the side lane against Sion is going to be tough as, oh boy, Doxa.
Yeah, you're not winning these trades at this point. Perfect execution in, and Diplex. Called, cool, collected.
Oh boy.
Not breaking a sweat.
Oh boy. Okay, well, Jace is online. You remember when I said that Jace wants Hex Drinker in this matchup? Diplex
I don't see a Hex Drinker.
Yeah, I don't see a Hex Drinker. I don't think he cares. As he's just gonna one-shot Doxa on the Akali, and I mean, I've spent all my time talking about the Fiora and the Sion side lane matchup. If the Jace is winning against the Akali, that's a much bigger problem.
Yeah,
as Diplex is playing very well this game.
Hauntzer's trying to get out here. Needs space to pop the ultimate. He's just trying to posture into the Fog of War with Dragu backing him up. But yeah, Fake God's winning the 1v1 there. Diplex is heavily winning the 1v1 on his side of the map, and that means that Cloud9 Challengers, they got the best of both worlds. They got the gold lead. They have a very stable, position in the game currently. And they're also feeling like they're just winning everywhere on the map. Gold differential top side doesn't feel too bad. Bot side, it's in favor of TSM, but nothing crazy. Mid lane, though. Ooh, baby.
It's been a big game for Diplex, you know?
Big series, I'd say.
Good for him, man. It stinks, like, when to be the player that's like, if you're on a 7-2 team, you've been playing fine. And it really stinks to, be told, like, hey, the guy below you is just, like, massacring everyone in the league. We want to give him a go, right?
Yeah.
Because it really does feel like, it's been deserved for Eminez. And, Diplex is just kind of here. But, again, I'm really happy to see the Diplex, making the most of it. He's played very well in both these games. He had the Dream Silas game where you could grab 5 ultimates and feel good. And now just absolutely monstering this game as Jace. We'll see what else we can do. We are 30 seconds before... What was that?
Cloud9 as an org just feel like the tale of two mid laners, right? Like either one feels pretty good for them to go with. But the engage from TSM Challengers going onto the tank. That's a lot used on Tomio, and they're just not killing him fast enough. Now with Haunter here, maybe they can do more. Diplex jumps on the Wild Turtle, who's trying to reposition, but Diplex just says, "Where you going, buddy? I am here." As now the rest of Cloud9 can chase down the rest of TSM. Diplex gladly trades his life for the team fight win. Dox and Haunter over the wall, but now Fake God says, "Tag me in. I'm the next solo laner you gotta worry about, and I am a problem." Doxa can flip over the wall, and he is picked off. Haunter goes down, Doxa goes down, and Cloud9 Challengers will happily take another dragon.
C9 looking to cruise to a victory in this one. As I was about to say, the poke was going to be online for the dragon setup with the Maokai and Jace. So TSM, they tried to find a fight before that poke could connect. They throw everything into Tomio, and Tomio's just chilling, man. Lost comes over the wall, able to support his buddy. Zazel with the peel, great. Lost had no issues in this fight, and TSM just fall.
Oh, and Wild Turtle. He was trying to flash into the dragon pit. Oh, that's rough.
I think he was just trying to flash to make sure that the feathers could rip on the Diplex, but that also went sideways. So either way, flash didn't net enough there for TSM, who again already are behind, and C9 wipe them.
They get another dragon, so Cloud9 Challengers looking to continue their streak regardless of substitutions being made between LCS and Challengers League. They are showing that they're at the top of the standings, or at least towards the top of the standings, in both for good reason. This org seems to be on fire right now, in the good way, in the way that you want to be, you know, like on a hot streak. And yeah, nothing but impressive play so far from these Challengers players.
C9. We will see moving forward again. This is the team that a lot of our Challengers teams feel like are the team to beat, even with Dignitas at the top of the standings. Again, Dig, you know, they said that a lot of times in scrims, if they're up, they use scrims to try things. I'm all for that. You really can't argue with the results either, as they are sitting first in the standings. I think that it's a matchup that we're definitely wanting to see. And funnily enough, it would be Fake Out against this old org too if we get a best of series for that. But it really feels like these are the two teams to beat. Whether or not Diplex or MNS are starting for NACL, right?
Mm-hmm. That's why I just going to that point. There's a lot of talent over at Cloud9 right now. So fans rejoice. Back to the current game state. We see Baron's setup being toyed with as Haunter and Fake God find themselves scrapping just slightly in the bottom lane. Not expecting any kills down there. But the name of the game can be Baron going forward, because if Cloud9 get another big setup like they did before, then they can actually look to rush that down. TSM, meanwhile, are actually approaching in themselves to clear out the vision. So we're just kind of doing this little ping pong that happens every now and then, where teams will just take turns setting up their vision.
And again, because C9 wins the side lane so hard at this point, I mean, you can see the chunks that Fake God's getting from these Vitals now, that he has more levels under him. TSM can move on the map. They are forced to catch waves and go from there, as C9 just going to try and get their poke down and wait to pull the trigger for where they might actually start this Baron.
Yeah, Cloud9, they are much happier in this game state than TSM is. If they're just taking turns to kind of drop wards, back off from Baron, the other team comes in, sweeps out those wards, plants their own. Well, like you said, Fake God is getting much more done in the side lane than Doxa is. Claims an entire turret for himself. Almost solo killed Haunter there, who was very low under his own turret. And now I'm curious if Cloud9 will go for a similar setup, but on the other side of the map. It's nice to have Fake God bot because it's like pulling Haunter down there, but also if you send him top, can get towards the Baron fight a little bit faster. So let's see where Fake God decides to reset to, because he just finished the back.
Oh, who needs poke? We just throw that. We just had 3 people back from TS. Okay, this is just dead.
Wow. There's literally a control ward in the pit, and Cloud9 don't even care. Did they have vision on TSM where they backed, or was that just a guess that they were no longer on the map? Either way, they get Baron.
Boy. Well, yeah, Kaisa shreds that objective, in case anyone forgot.
I would love to see. I didn't notice if TSM backed on vision on wards, or if that was just Cloud9 saying, hey, let's try it. Because worst case scenario, they just have to walk up and try and answer us. And then if they don't walk up, well, hey, that answers the question. Or if it really was like they saw that TSM backed and weren't there and said, we can just take this for free. Very, very interesting game state we find ourselves in, Cub, because now Cloud9 not only have the side lane winning, but they also got the big purple worm objective. So TSM, they kind of got to go for a Hail Mary here.
I mean, this game's doomed. So we'll see what they can do. But here we go.
Engaging in onto the tank yet again.
TP.
Drag goes in. Tomio pulled all the way back. This is actually a good setup for Wild Turtle. If he can shred through Tomio, that's the jungler down. Watch for Fake God on the flank. Maybe this Fiora can cause some havoc in the back line. Lost jumps in, trying to cause chaos, cause confusion. Fake God goes in, but he doesn't have any follow-up. Zeyzal engage on the 5 as Lost can output all the damage he wants, but Doxa cleans up. Wild Turtle got 2. Fake God lunges in and will clean up the 80 carry. It's Fake God and Zeyzal versus 3 members with almost no health bars. Surely Fake God can clean this one up. Double kill to the Fiora. Very low health bar. Zeyzal's there. Triple kill. Doxa's down. Dragku, the only one left alive, has to jump under his own turret, and Fake God is making it work for Cloud9. He's going between turrets. He wants Dragku, and he will get him. Ace for Cloud9.
Oh my god, the turn from Zeyzal, the 5-man pull. I don't care what skin he's using, man. He earned the right to use whatever the hell he wants, because Zeyzal, the Alistar, the trigger pull, turns the fight back in favor of C9, and now the Dragon's up. They don't have Baron buff on everyone anymore, but they do have TPs up, and this Dragon should be there. It's going to take a second look while that Dragon falls. And it's actually a decent start for TSM because Tomio, he's too far forward, so Turtle's able to get a nice rip. You're fighting in a choke as Xayah. Turtle's really nicely positioned here. Lost has to commit with the ultimate to just get into the fight, but he can't get to the back line. So it really creates this awkward scenario where, oh boy. I mean, Zeyzal turns it. Lost does catch the trigger foot. Never mind, we have more fights.
All right, Answer's in there. Doxa onto the backline in the Shroud. It's actually doing a lot of damage here. This is pretty good for TSM so far, but Wild Turtle's just popped. Oh, he didn't have his ultimate or nothing. And now TSM's going to have to try and take the fight without any DPS because Doxa's down too, and that's just the game, isn't it? Double kill to Tomio. Cloud9 Challengers. They get engaged on by TSM, and is this really how we're going to end this one?
I think we have more game left, Kangas, but you were right. If you can't go up in the air as Xayah, you're going to that gray screen fast. And Wild Turtle got a little popped in that fight.
Just slightly.
Just a little bit.
We did a little bit of popping.
I will say Lost got out with a sliver of HP. That's a big deal because they're going to keep on taking through the objectives down. With TP's down, C9 knows as long as they keep up the push, they don't have to take that Dragon. They'd rather take the objectives. So Tomio's going to solo bowl that while everyone else goes to hit some of the turrets, get these waves in, and C9 opening up a big lead and looking to secure, finally, that 2-0 Kangas.
This turned into a team fight win. They got gold from 4 members. 2 turrets taken. They got gold from those turrets, plus the waves. Every single camp, sans the Raptors and probably these Krugs, taken by Cloud9 Challengers. There's, like, what is TSM Challengers supposed to do now that they're back on the map? There's full vision control. They're going to be seen anywhere they go. They have no gold income other than a couple of waves crashing in. Like, this is about as doomed as a game can, game state rather, can get.
The game's been hard, but now the game's over. Yeah, you were correct here, Kangas, as it is going to be a hurricane actually for Lost, given all the melees that he's going up against. I don't mind that on the Kai'Sa. And yeah, I mean, Zeyzal has been really good this game. I gotta say, the Alistar, pretty damn good pick here, as he's been able to catch a lot of the front line and buy a lot of time for the side of C9.
Fake God's even got the Hold Breaker now. Like,
yeah.
Stop this Fiora.
Nope.
Oh, Glacial Prison. Focusing Tomio. Actually worked last time, but Zeyzal just says, all right, well, you can engage on their tank. I'm just going to headbutt away your 80 carry and then press my R button, and you're not going to do anything about it, are you? Because you just don't have the damage. TSM getting hard countered by this Alistar gameplay. Zeyzal's coming back in for another one. Forces ult out of Wild Turtle, who's now got to reposition. Doxa goes in. Wait, that's actually a big knockup from Dragku.
Lost is in here.
Doing his best Zeyzal impression. Lost jumps in, takes down Doxa. Wild Turtle is still up. Wild Turtle's gonna have to put in work, but oh, he just gets hit by a shock blast. Almost one shot by that. Cloud9 did all this in a 4v5, by the way. Because the entire time, Fake God's been pushing in the side lane. Now he says, all right, I guess I'll join in on the fun. Whoop, boom, you're dead, Wild Turtle. And Cloud9 Challengers can push in with these waves, maybe look for the end. I mean, I don't know if TSM can stop this. They do have 3, though. So Fake God's going to respect it, back off to the mid lane, take down these inhibitors instead.
And Diplock shoving in the other lane. So again, Fake God's just chilling. Even hits the parry on the stun. Holy cow. Fake God dancing around on this Fiora. C9, they're going to most likely leave after they take this because Dox is about to be back up. But C9 again, they're up in this game. TSM's throwing everything they can to break C9. But C9, unbroken, continue to cruise.
Great stuff from Cloud9 Challengers. Great stuff from Fake God to realize I don't need a TP into that fight. I might as well just keep pushing, threaten the game end there, and TSM had to back off then and try and answer, as now TP comes in from Diplex towards the Baron. Svenskeren has to come check this. Doesn't get the ward over the wall. Oh. Oh. Oop. Well, oop. That was that's the physical reaction to that kind of play. I'm sure that everybody at Twitch chat was also oohing with me. Actually, I have a soundboard for that.
You do?
There we go.
That's
the one right there.
That's a good one.
Yep.
That's
Fake
a good
God
one.
now the target here for TSM Challengers. He is probably going to die for this, but I mean, it's buying the team Baron, so end of the day, it's still probably worth it because it takes this many members of TSM and there's no shot. He actually trades one back.
He's
right?
got the ult.
Surely there's no chance he kills Svenskeren there. Okay, Guardian Angel popped. Now the rest of Cloud9 are going into the mid lane. Fake God is buying so much time.
No. Please kill him.
Oh, that took everything from TSM, and I think the game might just be over because of it. Now it's a 4-man push into the mid lane. No Nexus turrets. Cloud9 Challengers say, thanks for your sacrifice, Fake God. We will gladly win this game in your honor, because TSM cannot stop the rest of the push. Cloud9 Challengers, regardless of substitutes, will retain their spot at the top of the standings.
Big game from Diplex, big game from Zazel, and a big series from C9 as TSM, again, they won 6 out of their last 8 games. Coming into today's series, they were on a little bit of a hot streak. I think that we still are seeing some better looks out of TSM, but C9 continue to prove they are one of our top teams for a reason.
And in a match that we went into looking at the top lane almost exclusively, Game 1, not as much. Game 2, Fake God really stepping up to that position. He survived... we should have like a timer. We gotta tweet that out or something, like 30 seconds, 25, 30 seconds probably in a 1v4, 1v5 scenario. That was absolutely absurd and bought Cloud9 the time that they needed. I mean, the game was pretty much over at that point anyway, but still, moments like that are super fun for a player's career to say, I did that. I made that happen.
Just throw it up on Twitter, just be like, how'd I do? Embrace the highlights here. Might as well.
There you go, Fake God. You can pay me for my social media or social media management skills later.
I have a lot of mixed feelings about Fiora. Can I also say that?
I think that's fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. Well done, Fake God. Well done, C9. Congrats on the 2-0. It's big time.
And with that said, we're gonna send it to a short break while Magical gets prepped with one of the players from Cloud9 for the post-series interview right after this.
Hello, welcome back into the North America Challengers League. I'm Magical, joined in by the top laner of the victorious, the 2-0 Cloud9 Challengers. Fake God, how you feeling after that?
Feeling pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I would too, especially with the, what was it, the Zazel 5-man knockup where you got an unofficial quadra kill?
Oh yeah. I went for the recon at the end there, but it almost went bad because they had a 4v5 angle, but...
Okay, just tell me about that moment. Like, what were the calms like when you're like, I'm getting recon?
Oh, I was just like, I'm gonna kill this guy, and it's like, and then I think I heard Zazel wait, like, hey, don't do it. It's gonna be bad for our tempo. And it's like, but I didn't listen to it as hard. I think I heard it, but I was like, oh, I think I can kill him anyways. But then I died, and then I was like, oh, and after that I was like, oh, my bad. Sorry.
All right, we have that moment, and then we have the moment later where all 5 members were chasing you from TSM.
Oh yeah,
so,
that was funny.
What about that moment? Kind of walk us through what happened there.
That moment we were planning on. Okay, I made a plan that I would go bottom as Fiora, and then we would be around Baron. And if they do not send 2 people or more on me, I will end the game. So they must send people on me, and once that happens, we will start Baron. And if they all use TP or whatever, then we will just get off, and I'll end the game. So that's what I was setting up for. And then I saw like some of them around bottom side, and my team was like, okay, let's just do Baron. And it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna just wait in this bush and see where they go. But then they just went for me, and I was like, oh. And then I just had to just play my hands and hope things went well. It didn't really go well. I mean, I died, but because I stalled for so long, we ended the game. So
I was about to say, did it all go poorly? I feel like it went
yeah,
well.
it didn't really go poorly. I did the job. Like if we win the game because of that, you know, that was actually the correct play. They had to commit so hard for me.
All right, so I do want to bring up, we had like a fun community poll that we did for top laners, the top lane Bonanza. Moose Hater looks like he's going to be our victorious top laner. What are your thoughts on the community side of the bracket? I'll talk about the casters in just a moment.
Yeah, the community. Oh, Garen, it's the Garen. He has too much momentum. The dark horse. It's the Garen tech.
The Garen, the Zac tech.
Yeah,
you know, he's got a couple different.
They have too much tech. It's too much for them. He must be number one.
All right. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. All right, but let's talk about the caster side, because on the caster one, you fared a lot better. You made it all the way to the semifinals, but you did lose out to Haunter in our bracket, who ended up winning the entirety of the caster side. Yet you guys just got the 2-0. So what do you feel?
Seems kind of weird, but oh well. I mean, I think Haunter's like fine. Like I only played him like this game today. I didn't really scrim against them a lot, so I can't really tell beyond that. But I'm a little disappointed in the casters. But you know, it's fine.
If it makes you feel any better, I got you back. Don't worry, I voted for you.
Okay,
so
thank you.
Just ignore them, flame them. I'm the cool guy. All right, so let's look at the season. You guys are doing really well for yourselves, and you know, fake out for you. You come into the season having played in the LCS and now back in Challengers League. How is kind of the mental shift from playing on Dignitas now to playing here in Challengers? It feels like it's a night and day experience in your career.
The mental shift was, I mean, it was just easy for me because I just wanted to focus on myself, and to me that wouldn't change no matter like where I was, if I was in LCS or academies, like for whatever reason, or I mean challengers. So for me it was just like, I feel like I have the same mindset right now that I should have had like back then, which was like just focus on yourself and play to the best of your ability and like don't think about what others think about you. That should be what I always had, but I didn't have that when I was on Dig. So when I took a break and came back, I wanted to really focus on that part of myself as a player, like what I should be thinking about and my mindset. So,
And it feels like you have. It really does feel like you've grown a lot since then. So now the next question would be, do you want to get back into the LCS one day? Do you want to make that leap once again to prove yourself that was just, you got a little bit behind on where you'd like to be, and now you focus on yourself, and you can have a redemption arc better than that of Dokla?
yeah, I do wish to go back to the LCS and like play better than I did before, because I think it was very, very sad how I played before on Dig for like the one spring I was playing. But I don't feel the need to like rush into it right now. Like if there's a chance, like just grab it anytime. I think what I want to do is just keep on slowly improving as a player and just wait like that. But I do want to get back to LCS if possible.
I like that mindset. I like that.
I think if I do not have that mindset as a player, then I shouldn't be here playing Challengers League or playing League in general. So
that's fair. I love that mindset. I think you have a really positive outlook on this one, and I know you're going to get back to the LCS one day. You know, you just keep going on your own grind at your own pace. You've got this. You've been smashing so far. I believe in you. And now, before I let you go celebrate the 2-0 victory with your team and then enjoy the day off tomorrow, do you have any shout-outs to anybody out there? Anyone you want to say hi to?
Shout-outs to Sophie, mid lane, positional coach, and shout-out to my team. And shout out to Deflex for coming in and playing really well. And shout out to my coach Sam, who's a good coach. Yeah, that's all.
I love it. Absolutely love it. Thank you so much, Fake God. Good luck on the rest of this split as well in the playoffs. We're all going to be rooting for you. And for now, we're going to toss it to a break here, getting ready for our final series of the day between FlyFam and Team Liquid Honda Challengers. Make sure you stick around.